Namaste. Om Sadashivasamārambhāṃ Shankarācārya-madhyamāṃ Asmadācārya-paryantāṃ Vande Guruparamparaṃ Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. So part 19 of Aruna Prashna is the famous mantra Pushpa. If you remember, Aruna Prashna began by talking about water, time and all of Surya, Aditya and all of this. So this connects Apa, water, with Vayu and Agni and Surya and Chandrama and clouds and Samvatsara finally, and brings all of them together and in a way confirms the interdependence between each of those. So the interdependence between water and Agni, for example, Apa and Agni. Here again, whether to interpret Apa as just H2O water or all of matter is an interesting point, and things make a lot more sense if we interpret Apa as matter and Agni as energy. So let us begin. Yopam pushpam veda pushpavan prajavan pashuman bhavati chandrama va apam pushpam pushpavan prajavan pashuman bhavati. Yaha apam pushpam veda, he who understands the pushpa of Apa. So what is Apa and what is Pushpa here? Pushpa, if we take literally as a flower, it won't make so much sense. But if you think of a garden where these colorful flowers, Pushpa, they bloom from dull green plants, in a sense the Pushpa is the end result or the outcome or the success of that plant. So in that sense, Pushpa, what is the final outcome or what is the Pushpa of all of matter, is how we could perhaps see this. And the third line says, Chandramava apam pushpam. Chandra himself is the Pushpa of water, or you can think of it as the source of water. And he who understands this, he becomes Pushpavan, Prajavan and Pashuman. So one who gets success or flowers, and one who gets children, Prajavan, and one who gets animals, who has animals. So Pushpavan, Prajavan, Pashuman bhavati. Ya evam veda yopamayatanam veda ayatanavan bhavati. So these lines repeat throughout mantra Pushpa. The key word here is ayatana. So what is really ayatana? If we take it literally as a house, again it won't make much sense. If you think of ayatana as source or foundation on which something rests, then it makes a lot more sense. So yaha apam ayatanam veda, he who understands the source or foundation of water, or in general all of matter, saha ayatanavan bhavati. So he gets a good foundation, in the sense he becomes well established. Agnirva apamayatanam ayatanavan bhavati yognerayatanam veda ayatanavan bhavati. So now it says Agni itself is the source of water. Agnirva apam ayatanam. And the he who understands this, yaha agnehe ayatanam veda ayatanavan bhavati. So Agni has come from water, or in other words, energy has come from matter. If you think of it that way, he who understands this will become well established. Apo va agnerayatanam ayatanavan bhavati ya evam veda yopamayatanam veda ayatanavan bhavati. So the interdependence between Agni and Apa is stated here. In the previous lines it said, Agni is the source of water. Now it says Apova Agnehe Ayatanam. So matter itself is the source of energy. So the interdependence between matter and energy, or Agni and water, is established here. And he who understands this becomes well established. You can try to interpret this in terms of modern science. For example, other than nuclear, even nuclear energy, all forms of energy require some fuel. So it all comes from matter. Even sun's energy comes from the reactions going on with the matter that is present in the sun. So without matter there is no energy, and without energy there is no matter. So the two are in fact interdependent, and that is what is stated here, and that is the reason why this mantra Pushpa has become so well known and so famous. So after Agni, now it is Vayu, the relationship between Vayu and Apa. Vayurva apamayatanam ayatanavan bhavati yo vayorayatanam veda ayatanavan bhavati. So it says Vayu is source of water. Apam ayatanam Vayuho. So here again Vayu can be interpreted just as wind or also as prana. So the prana shakti that is sustains life can also be talked about as Vayu. So it is saying that Vayu is the ayatana for Apa, and he who understands this ayatana of Vayu, the foundation of Vayu, becomes well established. Apo vai vayorayatanam ayatanavan bhavati ya evam veda yopamayatnam veda ayatanavan bhavati. So it says the same thing in the other direction. Now it says apaha vai vayoho ayatanam. Water itself is the matter itself is the source for vayu. So prana, if you think of vayu as prana, without matter, without the energy we get from matter, there is no prana. So there is that interdependence between matter and vayu as well, and he who understands this will do well in life. Aso vai tapannapamayatanam ayatanavan bhavati yo mushyatapata ayatanam veda ayatanavan bhavati. Asau vai tapan, this heater, this Surya, right? What is his ayatana? So apam ayatanam, he is the source of water, it says. So we get all of our supply of fresh water only because of sun's energy. So without Surya there would be no water available for us. So again, yaha tapata ayatanam veda sa ayatanavan bhavati. He who understands the source of this Surya himself becomes established. So Surya is the source of water. What is the source of Surya? And that is again answered in the next line. Apo va amushyatapata ayatanam ayatanavan bhavati ya evam veda yopamayatnam veda ayatanavan bhavati. So Apa itself is the source of this Surya, and he who understands this will become well established. So the relationship between Agni and Apa, between Vayu and Apa, and now Surya and Apa. Chandrama va apamayatanam ayatanavan bhavati yas chandramasa ayatanam veda ayatanavan bhavati. Now Chandrama, moon and water. So even modern science is now establishing that without the moon we would probably not have these weather patterns on earth, and rain and rainfall and water supply would not be there. Life may not be possible without moon. So there is a relationship between Chandrama and Apa, and it is saying Chandra is in fact the source of water. Apo vai chandramasa ayatanam ayatanavan bhavati ya evam veda yopamayatnam veda ayatanavan bhavati. Now Chandrama, water is the source of Chandra. It says, so again if you think of water as all of matter, then it makes better sense. Nakshatra diva apamayatanam ayatanavan bhavati yo nakshatrana mayatanam veda ayatanavan bhavati. So nakshatras are the source of water. So it goes beyond Aditya Mandala now, and talks about nakshatras being the source of water, and he who knows this becomes well established. He knows the foundation, the source of nakshatras will become um, well established, and as you can expect, the next line says water itself is the source of nakshatras as well. Apo vai nakshatranam ayatanavan bhavati ya evam veda yopamayatatam veda ayatanavan bhavati. So, apo vai nakshatranam ayatanam. So, water itself, matter itself is the source of nakshatras. So, nakshatras are indeed made up of matter, just like the sun and the moon and the earth. Next, we move on to Parjanya, or clouds, or rain bearing clouds. Parjanyo va apamayatanam ayatanavan bhavati yah parjanyasyayatanam veda ayatanavan bhavati. So, clouds are the source of water, and of course, it is very easy to interpret this. Clouds give us rain, and rain gives us fresh water. So, clouds are indeed the source of water. He who knows the source of clouds will become well established. Apo vai parjanyasyaayatanam ayatanavan bhavati ya evam veda yopamayatanam veda ayatanavan bhavati. Water itself is the source of clouds. And finally, about Samvatsara, which was discussed earlier in the initial parts of as the real unit of time, and also the deeper Adhisamvatsara was also discussed in the first few parts of Aruna Prashna. Samvatsaro va apamayatanam ayatanavan bhavati yas samvatsarasyayatanam veda ayatanavan bhavati. Samvatsara is the source of water, because it says from Samvatsara we get, the kala, which the paka vishesha of Surya during the Samvatsara causes the kala visheshana, namely seasons, rutus. So, we already talked about how Surya causes these variations, and because of that we get the seasons, rutus, and because of the seasons we get rainfall and all of that. So, here again it is talking about Samvatsara as the source of water. What is the source of Samvatsara? Must be Apa again. Apo vai samvatsarasyayatanam ayatanavan bhavati ya evam veda yopsunavam pratishtitam veda pratyeva tisthati. So, Apo vai samvatsarasya ayatanam. Apa itself is the source of Samvatsara. So, once again, later there is another, when we talk about creation, there are explicit statements about the relationship between Apa and time. So, time itself, we had seen earlier also, it said that time itself resides in matter or Apa. So, Samvatsara is the canonical unit of time as far as Aruna Prashna is concerned. Therefore, Apa and Samvatsara are also closely related. So, yaha apsu navam pratishtitam veda. So, he who understands that this world, everything in this world is standing in water, is established, pratishtita, in apsu, in waters, like a boat, like a navam. So, then he becomes pratyeva tishtati. So, he becomes very well established.